deep cut. Should have done better. It didn't. Raise a glass first. Please stand. SONA founders and the SONA board. Stand up. Be recognized. Let's not just talk about you, let you be seen, right? Congratulations. Cheers to you all. Thanks for letting me play in the sandbox. I heard Ray's speech at the Ivors last week, and I was encouraged that a fellow recipient of last year's Warrior Awards also feels this is the most pressing issue for songwriters in today's music business. Song splits. Here's a true stat. The average top 10 song in 2005 had just 3.2 writers, compared to 7.2 in 2025. Meaning even splits went from 31.25% in 2005 down to 13.9% in 2025. And if you include inflation, lack of physical sales, and a dozen other assumptions like whether this song even has equal splits, that top 10 song in 2005 in today's dollars was worth $225,000 per writer. Now it's $86,000. But imagine a world where you were more than twice as valued, where you could earn more than double your pay without lobbying Congress or the CRB, where you don't have to have twice the releases to equal one release from 20 years ago. We all know that story of the writer who has a hit but can't pay their bills. Well, some of that is because we are our own worst enemies. We become numb to the pillaging and extortion of our publishing, and yet we have legal precedent on our side. A copyright is melody and lyrics, and that's it. Everything else is a myth. That person who changed the chords after the song was written, talented, earned their fee, not a writer. The guy who added drums, thanks for the beat, get your fee, not a writer. The demo singer, the vocal producer, great work, not writers. The artist who records and tours your song, invaluable, but still not a writer. The manager or A&R who demands publishing, I don't know what that is, but that is certainly not songwriting. True story. I've heard twice this week about managers putting their children on songs. Those people are leeches. Not your children, your parents. We all know who a songwriter is, and those people are not them. Just ask the question, WWMD. What would Max Martin do? Because he ain't giving any of those people pub. Listen, we are all one family, and like all families, we don't have to agree on everything, and that's okay. Whether you were in the room or not, if you didn't write the song, you are not a songwriter. Guys, it's time. No more publishing grabs. Remember, if Kid Harpoon and Tyler Johnson can produce flowers without taking publishing, your producer can be ethical too. Listen, if someone comes for your income stream, go for theirs. That's called negotiating. But the only way to negotiate is to have the guts to say no. Believe that it's okay if your song doesn't come out. If it's a priority, they will find a way to release it. That's why their manager is going to call you and say the artist only wants 20%. But remember, your lawyer probably spent a year negotiating that same percentage for your publishing or management deal. Now someone else's manager is guilting you into handing over your asset for the privilege of having their artist record your song? No. The privilege is the other way around. What they know is that 20% of a hit can get a 12 times multiple when their artist sells their catalog. That percentage could be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Your dollars, not theirs. You don't owe them a cent. Now, they'll try to split us up. They'll threaten to shelve the song. They'll clear the single the night before the album drops. They'll make you sign an NDA. But here's what they can't do. They can't have this conversation in public because they don't have legal standing to take publishing on our songs. Never agree to splits without talking to your co-writers first. Start a chain, contact the other writers from the initial session, and respond jointly. Producers who write, and your managers, fight for your co-writers. When that artist wants a percentage they didn't earn, don't offer anything without talking to your collaborators. If you offer a cut, don't be offended when your collaborators refuse to lower their percentage to accommodate your new splits, not the new splits. Artists who write and your managers, fight for your co-writers. When that producer who didn't write wants a percentage they didn't earn, don't offer anything without talking to your collaborators. If you offer a cut, don't be offended when your collaborators refuse to lower their percentage to accommodate your new splits, not the new splits. 3 stories of people who did it right. Number 1, 3 writers, including the artist, write an original. The artist writes a bridge with others. Artist deducts only their share to accommodate the new writers. That is class. Number 2, 2 writers write a hit. One takes the majority, ego too big. Years later, he gives the publishing back because it was always the right thing to do. That is class. Number 3, one of the biggest pop stars in the world who makes everyone sign an NDA, you know who they are. They wrote a bridge on an existing song and tried to extort equal pub. The original writer said no. They gave the artist 5%. The artist releases their biggest hit. Everyone's happy. That is class. Set your own precedent. No one has the right to tell you what your splits are. Tell them what the splits are. And protect your copyrights at all costs. Now, record labels, stop weaponizing musicology against your own artists, many of whom are also songwriters. Use musicology to protect them, not prosecute them. Use it to refute unintended interpolations, not to point them out. Did you know the blurred lines case was likely ruled incorrectly and has never been used successfully as precedent in court? You know who told me that? The attorney who represented the Marvin Gaye estate. Here's a challenge. Every major music publisher, even minor music publisher, should hire an ethical in-house musicologist to refute frivolous claims. Labels and publishers should be aligned because right now you're leaving hundreds of millions on the table defending a shaky precedent. Stop poking holes in our sinking ship. Protect our copyrights at all costs. Artists, managers, writers, if a musicologist suggests you clear an interpolation because your bass line sounds kind of similar to a song from 30 years ago, say no 10 out of 10 times. But if you intentionally interpolate, give credit where credit's due. Ethics are not a one-way street. This is what makes SONA unique. PROs and publishers aren't going to fight this fight for us. They'll advocate broadly, but they're more likely to sign the offenders for market share rather than admonish them for theft. The industry has learned to venerate copyrights and their income streams, but forgotten those who compose them because we've forgotten what our value is. Songwriters, do not be afraid, because with each other and with our ethical collaborators, we can right the ship. Let's leave this community better than we found it and protect your copyrights at all costs. Thank you.